All right, guys. Sorry, we're about a minute late into game one here of this best of 5 winners match. REYNOR in the bottom right, MARU in the top left. Thankfully, we haven't missed any proxies or anything, as it's going to be a 15 command center first for MARU. REYNOR goes for the hatchery first also on 15. I do think 15 command center is slightly better than 14. I've seen a lot of players go 14, but you kind of cut just a second or two of worker production to do it. I like the MARU way of doing it here on 15. Unless you get really good mineral mining at the very start. But this is going to be a big match, guys. Winner gets first place through to the playoffs. And I believe Cyril is waiting for the winner of this match, right, guys? I think it's Cyril who waits for the winner of this match. Yeah, which is kind of exciting. So, loser of this match, of course, goes to the lower bracket, doesn't get the extra life. Remember, if you lose that match against Cyril, it's fine, because you basically just get plonked over 1 round forward still in the lower bracket than if you go out second from the group stage. So definitely going to be an advantage no matter what to always win your group. First place over second place is a big advantage. This is going to be the 3 command center Omega Greed build, guys. MARU saving 100 minerals on his command center, 100 minerals on this command center with that recent 300 mineral command center change. That's the best way to, of course, get that change to kick in immediately. And I think this is partially because it's a gigantic 4-player map. Now, I don't know if he's planning to do mech, but I would assume he's planning to do mech. And there's reasons for this. Number one, it's a 4-player map. If it's cross map, it's really hard to get across there. Mech, especially battle mech, quite good at dealing with big distances. And maybe not as annoyed as trying to do like a tempo marine tank push on such a huge map. Also, REYNOR hates playing late game and hates playing against mech, number 2. And number... Yeah, basically those are the 2 main reasons. I think that about covers it. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. REYNOR, of course, has not scouted yet. He's built Zergling speed 4 lings. So he's playing very generic right now. And I don't particularly like his build order. Now, no offense here. I'm not saying, oh, it's a bad build order. I'm saying it's a very good generic build order. But you're playing MARU on a 4-player map. And MARU, him and Beyond have been part of the same school of thought, which is greed this season whenever you can, but especially on the 4-player maps. REYNOR's also taking his hoodie off right now. If he loses a game or 2 in this best of 5, I do expect that hoodie to go back on, the Italian rap music to get cranked to 11, and him to lock in. So far, he sees an early command center and a marine. Doesn't see any other indicator of what's going on, and that's a pretty quick lair. So it's both third base and lair very quickly. It's a good call. You want to make an overseer and scout what you're up against as quickly as possible. Second factory goes down to the surprise of nobody. MARU going to bring out the mech. And it's so funny, guys, because we see MARU pick his strategies based on his opponents. He's very often not willing to play mech against Cyril. Not always, but there are periods of time where he just doesn't think Cyril can die to it. He's like, no, it doesn't work. Cyril's too good against it. But against REYNOR, I feel like he's always like, nah. I think he kind of knows the moment REYNOR even sees mech, he's like a little bit off balance already and going, oh, don't make me play a game against mech. That being said, REYNOR has some of the best Ravager Ling micro against mech you've ever seen in the world. The problem, I would say, is that REYNOR often plays against mech from behind very early in the game. Like, he's almost never just ahead and getting an easy win. He's almost always playing from behind. He's almost always struggling to keep up with the mech player, and then having it, like, it's like he's doing incredible plays, but he's already 2 steps behind all game. So it's kind of this mixed bag where I think REYNOR is both the best player at microing against the mech army in the world, but his openings are not good enough to put him in a competitive position where he can convert from it necessarily. Also, because he does just play Ravager Ling Bane usually, he doesn't often have a late game transition against it. There's no like, oh, now I've got Infestor Ultra Viper or, some sort of composition that, suddenly changes the odds and the efficiency of the game. Now, this is interesting though, because he's going Spire. It is Battle Mech, and he has spotted the Battle Mech now. He knows what he's up against. Unfortunately, the Overseer did not run away there. Could have survived if he just pulled it a little bit further out of vision. 3 Hellions on the right side, but the Lings thinking about moving out at the wrong time. Those Lings need to move. Those Lings need to move, guys. Oh, he tried to build an Evo, but the Queen was blocking it. The Lings have still not reacted. Big mistake for REYNOR. That's a very slow reaction. That's a bit of a mistake. Unnecessary damage. 3 Hellions getting 7 drones. Especially when you've done a greedy start like this. MARU is ahead on workers right now, and he's already going double starport. Question, guys, is that for battle cruisers or Banshees? I think it's for speed Banshees. I think he is committing to full mech. Banshee, Cyclone, Hellion, Widowmine. Just full battle mech, full fast army. And REYNOR is playing this game from behind. I'm going to be reading a bit of analysis from chat as we go, guys. I like this to be a bit of a collaborative process. Take inspiration. One of our courtside experts coming in. They said, barbecue cars, good unit. We appreciate that. Thank you, Twitch chat, for contributing that. Anyone call for some barbecue? Banelings, Mutas, and Zerglings can do well against MARU. We saw Shin actually dominate MARU with this last PiGFest on Celestial Enclave, but he did it from an economic advantage. Playing from behind with Mutiling Bane against BattleMech is a disaster. Fusion Core's coming in. Whoa, is he actually going BCs? That's crazy, man. Ooh, where am I? Nicely done. Mutalisk ain't gonna find nothing. They ain't gonna find nothing. Ooh, he loses another Mutalisk to that Cyclone. Dude, REYNOR's getting bullied. He's on 66 drones. His fourth base is not even halfway done. He's so far behind in this game. MARU's gotten away with some immense greed on cross-map. There's room to bring it back in games like this, but like his fifth base is going to be really far away. Sixth base as well. MARU's going to be very fearsome. Of course, MARU, when he goes past four bases, will also be spread very thin, but second spy is going to go down. REYNOR, did he see the Fusion Core? No, he's just committing to mass Mutalisk, I guess. Which is actually really good against the BCs, because it means he won't be too far behind in upgrades when he does swap into Corruptors. By the way, what is... Whoa, there's broken power lines here? How have I not seen that till now? Sparks flying out of the power lines. Somebody fix that, bro. You know what'd be really cool is if this just does like 1 damage a second to any unit standing in that area. I wish we had more little environmental effects like that. They don't really change the gameplay. They'd just be cool, man. This is, of course, right outside whatever that says. That ain't English. Me no speaky that language. 16 drones on the south side. Second Spire coming in. Obviously, it's a slower build-up because MARU's played such a greedy opening. Everyone's going to take out yet another Mutalisk. Oh, dude. The fact that MARU's playing BattleMech, double armory, 3 more command centers, and REYNOR's not even got a fifth base fully established yet. Like, he is so far behind. I can't even... He's up against a guy building capital ships, double upgrade mech, 6 command centers already. And REYNOR's like sitting on lair tech at not even 150 supply. The lead cannot be exaggerated enough. If REYNOR wins this game, he is some sort of friggin' illusion magician who's tricking us with all the numbers on the screen right now. He's played a very standard opening against the greediest build of all time. He's lost a bunch of drones and Mutalisks, has killed very few Terran units. Another 5 drones going down, not to mention the Zerglings. This is just a very rough game for REYNOR. 13 drones do go down. MARU already going up to 8 gases here. The BCs are growing. There is 2-1 upgrades on the way for the Mutalisks. I really think Mutiling Bane is quite a dodgy style against mech. For those who don't know, we always reference it. Back in 2018, 2019 maybe, REYNOR insisted that mech is such a bad unit composition that couldn't ever win anything and was not viable, that you could beat it with Mutiling Bane. And obviously, people disagreed. They said, well, no, you can't play Mutiling Bane against mech. Mech destroys that, you know? He said, mate, no, like there's no chance. I will not drop a game with Mutiling Bane to mech. Did a show match with Marine Lord. Marine Lord 3-0'd him. Wasn't super close. Turns out if the mech player knows you're playing mass Mutiling Bane, they just build a lot of Widow Mines, mix in some Thors, and Mutiling Bane looks kind of trash against Hellions, Widow Mines, and Thors, but MARU doesn't know what he's up against yet. Not exactly. You can probably guess a little bit. One of the big problems for REYNOR is he's still building Mutalisks, which I guess they're okay against battlecruisers, but they're nowhere near as good as Corruptors. Oh, Hatchery's going to go down. It's a kill, not a cancel as well. Hellions on the right side being a nuisance. MARU poking around. Ooh, Hellion's going to get in here. Oh, very nice. This Hellion's just doing a great job, and look at that Hellbat morph. The Lings wisely pull away there. That's the Banelings clear it up, as the Lings in that corner would have been toasted. 28 Mutalisks against 4 Battlecruisers. Now, the Battlecruisers, guys, the way you play BCs is you enact the Battlecruiser tax. You fly in, you Yamato the Mutalisks or Corruptors, some sort of big unit, and then you teleport home without losing any units, repair back to full life, rinse and repeat. You get to do this once every minute. Oh, and he's going to deny the second Spire. Luckily, +1 armor had already finished. But did he forget Yamato? Does end up using one Yamato. Finally remembers to do it, I guess. But nonetheless, he's killed 8 Mutalisks. Doesn't lose any. And remember, it only costs a little bit of money. To get from 1 hit point to full hit points only costs a quarter of the original battlecruiser cost. So he can do that once every minute. And over time, that just taxes the Zerg. You can see it's already better than 3-to-1 trading for Maru. REYNOR has to make some magic happen with the mass Mutalisk. Now, it is REYNOR. Do not count him out, guys. As much as he's losing this game terribly, it is hard for a mech player to leverage their lead into a game-winning advantage. And REYNOR is a very, very tricky player. Ooh, he could beat those Cyclones. He could absolutely beat those Cyclones if he jumped on them with the Mutas. Things clean up some Hellions with the help of some Banelings. Planetary, he'd love to snipe that Planetary. Those SCVs coming back in. Muta's going to go for the Cyclones here, but the BCs will save him. Can't be chasing through the BCs. Battlecruiser plus Cyclone is actually a really friggin' sick anti-Mutalisk combo, man. That's really powerful. There's already 8 Battlecruisers on the map. More coming. Nice lock-ons with the scans there on those Cyclones, but does he have enough turrets to defend? Building armor's not quite here yet. No high-sec auto-tracking either. BCs are going to say, well, if you're not defending, I'm going to fly through your base. Kills a hatchery almost instantly. Those 2-2 Battlecruisers just tearing it up right now. Mutas are in the main doing damage. Link's coming in on the third. There is a bunker there, though, which will really help along with these Cyclones on the rally. BC's going to take out that base. Corruptors are building. Muta's going to try and turn and fight the Cyclones. Let's see how this one goes. A crazy engagement here. Is REYNOR about to pull a rabbit out of a hat? Is he about to find some magic? The Lings are killing command centers and SCVs in droves. He loses all of his Mutalisks in the main. Doesn't he have an answer, though, to the Battlecruisers on the other side of the map? He goes in with the Corruptors. There's not enough Corruptors. There's not enough Corruptors. Yamato clears them out. One Battlecruiser does fall, but there's so few Corruptors. He's got more popping. But I think he maybe needed to give this base up and wait for them to mass up before he fought this. REYNOR fought without enough Corruptors together. And that gives Maru exactly the fight that he wants. Gets to just Yamato them piecemeal, and then of course he can still teleport these BCs home. He's lost a lot of workers, so Maru definitely took way more damage there than he wanted to. Oh, he's going to teleport a BC home. Another BC teleports home as well. Dude, the Corruptors are finally going to be taking care of this, but of course the BCs will be able to teleport home and repair back up. How many orbitals does Maru have? He's going to lose one. No, the Corruptors changed targets. Wait, still only one Battlecruiser's gone down for 45 meters, 12 Corruptors. Kind of ridiculous. It is 6 orbitals, so he can drop mules, he can build SCVs. He's bringing like tons of SCVs to the front to repair because the Battlecruisers are basically his whole army, and REYNOR, he just looks at his economy and he says, nope, I can't rebuild from here. If we just rewind a few seconds, what did his economy look like, guys? We had 3 bases. Yeah, it's just his initial 3. Maybe could have tried to build more workers, but Maru's on 5 bases, dropping mules, and that is a justified leave there. Maru, super greedy opening. REYNOR, super generic opening. And I think REYNOR's going to have to play a bit more clever because Maru went for an extreme build. REYNOR played middle of the road, and Maru just ran away with that early game. All right, guys, let's go into game 2 here. Maru with an excellent game 1. But now he's on Blackrock, and they've hosted the wrong version of the map. Oh, man. That's my fault, guys. I should have made sure they hosted the other version. Ah, well. There is a tournament edition with the correct lighting, but at this point, I think everyone's so used to this super bright friggin' police have pulled you over at night, and they're shining their friggin' crazy torch in your eyes and saying, you look disoriented. Have you been drinking? And you're like, you're shining a 10,000 lumen light bulb into my skull. I am disoriented. They're like, because you're drinking? And you're like, no, it's the light in my eyes. It's cool. Just kidding, guys. I live in Australia. They just give us the random breath test and then go away if it doesn't ping off. We don't, yeah. We're happy to do that one. It's a bit more chill. Anyways, much more aggro opening. I think he might have been expecting barracks on the low ground for Maru. Does REYNOR cheese off this? REYNOR has some really good where he goes gas pool into like the Queen drop Zergling all in or the Nidus Queen Zergling all in. Those are some of his favorites. He could just do this as a macro build. He could just build a few Lings for a bit of a speedling pressure. I'm very curious. SCV's going forwards. All right, so Maru's going to play a much more standard build this time. Interesting. One of so someone was asking me just before the game started, they're like, what are your thoughts on TVZ? And I was like, I have so many questions. because Zerg creep spread is much slower than it used to be. Like, Zerg does not dominate the map, and that has nerfed Reynor's playstyle. Mutas seem a bit better. They have changed the Mutalisks in a few subtle ways that do affect them, like their attacks will bounce onto units that fight rather than random buildings when you're harassing bases and stuff, which is effective. They also, I think, are a bit better at like moving and shooting slightly. It's really hard to calculate that. The creep spreads slower, which really hurts a guy like Reynor, where part of his skill has always been dominating the map in creep. And, you know, we actually talked last PiGFest about how he feels there's been so many changes over the years to nerf his style of kind of dominating the map with creep. Especially, yeah, a few niche ones I was like, I hadn't even thought of. And he was like, yeah, you know, they made it so Oracle energy revelation is 25 energy. Protoss used to struggle to clear his creep, and apparently his creep was a really big part of his EVP. I was like, really? Oh, I never even realized. It's so fascinating where the creep is not that big of a part of a style of, say, Solar's playstyle against Terran. And I think Solar looks god tier against Terran on this patch because he just doesn't care about not having creep. Solar will defend his 4 base, and then he'll get hive tech, and then he'll do his thing. Whereas Reynor loves to hang on layer tech a bit longer, loves to swarm in the mid game, and kind of just have that creep everywhere for the mobility and the scouting that it gives. Now, he's rushing Carapace after Link Speed. This is a funky build order from Reynor. I think he's going to stay single Evo Chamber all game. I think it's a macro build, guys, but I think he just stays single Evo Chamber for a long time. So I think the goal here is basically, you get your upgrades started early enough, you just always have good upgrades. And yeah, your thirds may be a little slower, maybe your drone count's a little bit slower at the start, but you don't have to go double upgrades at once. And yeah, you go basically 1-1, and you still start a very fast +2 carapace, even after going 1-1, which is really cool. You can do a Ling Flood with it as well, of course. Unlikely to go Roaches off this opening. You've already sacrificed way too much economy to go Gas Pool, Ling Speed, and Carapace. To do all that and then go sideways into Roach Tech just feels awkward. I would imagine Reynor probably wants to play Infestaling into Ultra, one of his favorite styles against Bio. And Maru here, just 4 Hellions, 3 CC. He's going to go into 2-1-1 afterwards. So 2 Barracks, Factory, Starport. Second gas only now going down. Delaying that a really long time. I love that. I feel like Maru's really figured out his build orders. That is actually massive, because so many people, I think, rush that way too early. Their second gas. And then the build, you know, you're so mineral starved with these 3 command center builds, and especially with a 2-1-1 where you're building 3 Marines so early. This is timing out pretty nicely. I say that. Will he actually have the gas to build 2 medevacs, though? That's kind of the question here, right? He's got to lift that starport. Needs 200 gas for 2 medevacs. He's making the armory first. So actually, he's going to do the Hellbat timing. Ah, he's going to do single medevac stim Hellbat. Okay. Carapace is not very good against that. So Reynor's build order really not matching up well with Maru's. I feel like Maru's picking his build orders really nicely. Feels like he's winning the planning stage. It's very classic, though, for Reynor to rock up to a series and just do some builds that feel good. Maru, a bit more of a planning-based player. The Marines trying to hold the ramp. The Zerglings trying to get up there. Dude, solid hold position on that ramp, but the Lings are still going to find really good damage. That Carapace allowing them to tank so much. 6 SCVs already going down. He's got a bunch more Lings about to come in, but the depot wall is up. It's 2 more. Can he get a third one? No, he's just going to go for the Hellion and tries to go for the SCV on the wall off, but can't quite get it. 50 drones to 35, though. And he kills all the Marines before the Hellbat timing can happen, which is actually excellent. You know what's crazy, guys? Second factory goes down in the main. Did he see that? No, he did not. So Maru has opened 2-1-1, and he's going to follow this up with mass Widowmine drops. I think he still plays Bio. Yeah, he goes double Engineering Bay. So I think he's going to go mass Widowmine drop, which is a very, very cool style. Essentially, it's where he says, I'm not going to build a serious army because I know Zerg, and Reynor especially, is unlikely to attack in the early mid-game. I'm basically just going to take my third, probably take a fast fourth as well, and then I'm just going to spam, usually Widowmine drops onto you. He is building more Hellions for the moment. Could still go for a delayed Marine Hellbat timing with combat shields. Widowmines just started, but then he deleted one of the Widowmines from the queue and built something else instead. Interesting. Hellbat drop goes into the main. Oh, that's a very fearsome unit in the mineral line. Things struggling to get surface area. That will clean it up. Really just gets mining time, nothing else. Yeah, drilling claws coming in. This is a style Reynor gets visibly tilted dealing with this style in the past. Sometimes he shuts it down and just dominates the game. But there have been games where like Maru's just like, here's a Widow Mine drop, here's a Widow Mine drop, here's a Widow Mine drop. Unfortunately, because his reactor was so late on the starport and he took a lot of damage, it's kind of getting going a bit later than I think he'd like it to. Now, Reynor's going to go for that infestation, fast +2 carapace into Hive style that we were talking about. So far ahead on the upgrades. So far ahead. Reynor up 20 workers. I think he's got just too big of an advantage after that trade, man. 8 SCVs might not seem like that much, but it's killing the Marines and the Hellions and just not allowing Maru building an armory so early. He was committing so much to that timing. And now he just can't do it. He's going to build a 4th command center nice and early as Maru. He's also got vehicle weapon upgrades. So I think Maru's already thinking about the late game turtle. And this is a really good map for late game turtle. Widow Mine drop. Not going to unload. Not with that many Zergans there. I don't think there's enough dead space in the corner. And he kind of realizes at the last second, oh yeah, I can't hide there, can I? But Widow Mine drop comes in from the left. Only one Widow Mine though. Normally you'd want a bit more than that. Only gets 2 drones. Drilling Claws is now done. Looks like the other medevac did go down to the Queen. These drones, what are these guys doing? Oh, looks like they ran away. Going back to mine. Okay, not bad. Hive's on the way as well as 23 more workers. Reynor's macro a little fast, a little loose here, but I think he's got enough map dominance that is fine. No Bane speed in this game. Reynor does have a Bailey Nest, but no Bane speed. These medevacs are really not finding the mark, are they? Reynor's got so much creep spread. He's got so much control here. And this is just a solid cleanup. He's up 20 workers still. His Hive is now done. He does need to go Ultra Cavern and Spire. I feel like he's so rich, but he's a bit light on the gas. And whenever you're dealing with those Widow Mine drops, you're also pulling on and off gas a lot. So he does take 1 more gas, 2 Infestors, Adrenal. Still no Ultra Cavern. He's got this top left base mining as well, but that's only 6 minerals, 1 gas. Keep in mind, this base here is the full base. Another Widow Mine drop comes in. Maru pinning him at home. And this is it. Maru loves just pushing his opponent into the corner. He knows that Reynor gets really annoyed at this. Beautiful Ling Spready. It's not cheap. I mean, he's throwing units into the meat grinder. But this is like a sacrifice Maru doesn't mind making to allow himself to just secure 4 bases, entrench them. And I do think Maru will be turtling to late game. He might go for a tempo push, but I mean, I see sensor towers going down. I think he's just going to keep building a mixture of tanks, mines, libs, try to turtle this one out. And the Widow Mine drops sacrifice he's willing to make because we know that Maru is a much stronger late game player than Reynor is. Reynor's a very good late game player, don't get me wrong. But Maru is the best late game, end game Terran player of all time. And we've seen him frustrate Reynor by forcing the game there many times in the past. Things are going to run in on the 3rd base. Reynor gets annoyed here and he says, finally, let's try and find some damage. Ooh, it's a lot of SCVs dying. A siege tank friendly fire. Chadhammer on the high ground. She does do 25 kills, but these are Zerglings. They are relatively cheap units, but overall, I think that was a lot more Zerglings than you want to trade. 20 SCVs going down, though, so I think any trade might be a good trade for a Reynor that's this rich. Another medevac boosts in the front. It gets shot down. Somehow still manages to get the Widow Mines out. He's going to take out another 2 drones. Reynor looking at his face right now. I mean, he looks reasonably calm. His creep has not spread in the last 4 minutes or so. He's going to start taking corner bases because he already knows Maru is going to turtle this game out. The question is, how do you break it? We saw recently Rogue on this map in late game build 20 swarm hosts and try to siege that way. I think that gives up all tempo. I think when you've got this much of a bank advantage, you honestly just blow up the bases. Roll in here with 30 Banes, kill it, rinse and repeat, and just keep him down. Do not let Maru build the mass orbital, build the mass planetary, get corruptors to start killing libs and medevacs on every attack wave. And that can be really nice. Spire's on the way. No Bane speed just yet. Widow Mine drop comes in. Round 16 of the Widow Mine drops, guys. Only gets a few drones. 15 drones here for 4 separate medevacs have died. 18 Widow Mines. I mean, this is good for Reynor in terms of cost. The problem is that Maru's getting towards max out. That is incredibly scary. Because we know that if he starts building ghosts, extra planetaries, if he can get a planetary here, tanks, libs behind it, and I mean, the late game comp is Ghost, Hellbat, Lib, potentially with a few Thors mixed in. By the way, there are tank ledges on this map. There's cliffs that you can drop siege tanks on. We'll see if Maru uses that in the late game. Meanwhile, Army on the bottom side, Widow Mines clear it. Very nice. So Reynor's attempt to mine this corner base out Going to be met with some stiff opposition. MARU will have to pick up, though, and get out of there. Viper's on the way as well as 15 more drones. So REYNOR, feel a little interesting how he's playing this, because like it's a little late to be droning. Feels like he should already be like using his money to leverage an advantage. The problem by building drones here is you are giving up tempo. I think he might be okay to sit on 70 drones for a little bit, but he's kind of either got to start trading or he's going to have to accept playing a slower game, which usually not something that REYNOR is willing to do. These Widow Mines really starting to annoy him. And like I said, Widow Mines don't always have to do big damage because each medevac is relatively cheap when you're mining thousands of resources a minute, but it's the mental damage, it's the psychic damage. He also scans and takes out the Infestor. MARU wants to secure this bottom right side super badly. If he can secure these two bases, this will be excellent. Ultras and Lings trying to clean this up. There's a bunch of Lings running in that left side as well. That base is wide open. Oh, he's left it pretty undefended. Chadhammer's on the high ground, but not much else there. Ultras with Fungal. Corruptor's coming in. There's no Banelings in here to help cleave through the Fungal units. The Ultras do have splash damage, but still hard to get the damage done. Lings in the natural, though. MARU is a bit undefended over there. And that is a very good Ling run by. Now, remember, REYNOR can always give this base up. The reason he's fighting for it is this could lure MARU into some really bad fights in the corner. He's making MARU fight to control that space, and as MARU does this, his left side becomes more exposed as a result. It's a good move. Denies the planetary for now. If he could spread some Lings forward and clear this up, this would be amazing for him. There's so many Widow Mines there. If he can clear all this, this will be great. He's got to keep spreading those. So many Widow Mines, dude. That's a really good cleanup here for REYNOR. Gets rid of all that. The command center will float away. He doesn't have enough Corruptors to kill it. He's got an Infestor there ready to Fungal, but does he have enough Ultras? He's got one Infestor down there as well. Throws an auto attack, a little snot ball at that Marauder. The Marauder does back away. People saying Broodlords or Lurkers could help. Broodlords would be great. There's nothing really to deal with Broodlords here. 20 Marines. Ghosts are just now hitting the field. I think an early Broodlord timing is one of the best ways to leverage an economic advantage. REYNOR had an economic advantage in this game. It's one of the best ways to get like just five out, make all the Widow Mines friendly fire, and it would be amazing. It would cost him almost nothing to make Broodlords near the front line as well. You guys know I'm a big Broodlord stan, but I think it's probably going to be a timing that slips by. Ultra Baneling going to find a massive window though. Planetary without enough support. The Ghost getting jumped on. Oh, good pickup into the medevac. The SCV still getting caught though. The base goes down, and that is an excellent trade for a REYNOR. He's got 5,000 minerals in the bank, and not just that. Look at the trading. MARU should be way more efficient than this. He's only 1,000 resources more efficient. REYNOR is actually beating him in the fights right now. Part of that, of course, is all the Widow Mine drop in efficiency earlier. This fight is going to start turning things a bit more in MARU's favor, potentially. I say that, but actually, no. MARU's behind in the trading still, even after getting all those kills. Getting it closer to even, though. Oh, the Widow Mine's doing a bunch of friendly fire there. The Corruptor's very heavily wounded. We've got more Ultras coming in, more Banes. I think if REYNOR keeps hitting this left angle and then maybe also gets some Ling drops in the main, I just don't see MARU being able to defend it. Right now, MARU has to put all of his forces here and try to build like a layered defense. He's actually very low on siege tanks. I thought he'd be building a few more siege tanks constantly, as there's some nasty choke points on this map. There's sight blockers everywhere, which are really bad for Zerg, I feel like, especially once Terran has mass scans. But right now, REYNOR, he's mining this middle left side, this middle right side, and if he retakes this hatchery, that's going to keep on applying pressure, saying, hey, MARU, you need to retake it. So I'd love to see REYNOR keep taking these bases and also probing that left side for weakness. This is REYNOR's position to lose, right? Says chat. Absolutely, guys. He's in a massive advantage right now, but MARU is so calm and patient, and MARU, even when he's dead in the water, just patiently makes his opponent work for it and sometimes makes crazy comebacks. REYNOR is a player who struggles to finish off ZVTs. He seems to be having a very good technique so far. Like, the Ultraling Bane Corruptor attacks are good. Those Corruptors are idling. Could have maybe got a few more medevacs there. He also missed the 35 workers on that base. If he got a single Ultra or Banelings shift-clicked in there, he could have ruined. Ling's coming on the left side. Chadhammer on Siege is on the high ground. She's on 47 kills. She's going to actually come to the front. I'm surprised he unsieged her. She's trapped in there because that depot is raised right now. So she actually can't move forwards. How many SCVs has he lost, guys? 64 to 26 drones. Love to see REYNOR retake those bases, but I think his unit usage has been so good. It's kind of fine. Hard for him to break the rocks. He's going to use Caustic Spray because that's the only ranged attack he has right now. That's actually really clever. 14 drones just went down. Oh! He tried to evacuate the Widow the workers, and a Widow Mine smeared all of them on that left side. But I think that might be good. Reynor really needs to replace it with army supply. He shouldn't be building drones at this point anyway. Widow Mines are going down. Oh, good Widow Mine shots. The Ultra gets sniped by the Ghost as well. Command Center gets lifted. It's a lot of infrastructure. He's losing gases, depots, command centers, and oh, the Banelings find the worker line. Oh, he even burrows 2 Banes in there. Dude, that Baneling just walked right past. But oh my god, it's so worth an unburrow. He's busy fighting on the front right now, but we'll keep an eye on those Banelings if we can. They're going to unburrow. Unfortunately, they don't click on the SCVs that were stacked on the minerals, but the Corruptors are clearing everything. The Lings are coming in. The Libs are going down as well. Reynor taking some excellent trades, and I think pulling back at the right time here. Really well played. Reynor running over the top. Remember, he got a big lead early. I was worried he was dilly-dallying in the mid-game a bit too long. But overall, just the lead that he was gaining more and more by shutting down the Widow Mine drops was too good. MARU did not have the defensive position to move out to this side base. And yeah, he just wasn't able to crawl his way out there. Maybe needed a few more siege tanks or something like that. But all things considered, it's just Reynor with excellent control. Chadhammer finally comes down. She dies on 49 kills, unsieged in the open. An ignominious end, an unceremonious end for such a trophied and rewarded hero of the Terran arsenal. But at this point, it's just a few ghosts, a few Widow Mines, and a Terran with barely any mining. His medevacs are deep in the red. The Corruptors will come in and finish those off, and MARU has to tap out. That Carapace Ling timing just getting massive damage. Really well played. All right, guys, Reynor in the top left side of the map, going for that Overlord. MARU in the bottom right. It's Eternity's Edge. It's a rather big map. MARU is going to go for 13 barracks. Now, 13 barracks normally leads into a 13 gas or a quick Reaper, but he's doing 13 barracks, 14 gas. Ah, this is the build Clem was doing. Okay, so this build is, I'm pretty certain, suboptimal long term. The reason this build is suboptimal is you're basically building the barracks early to get the orbital earlier. This speeds up your first mule by 5 seconds. However, it also means you end up cutting a bit of SCV production, I believe, right? So I think you kind of end up in a situation where you could have just kept building SCVs and been slightly tighter. Then again, we'll see how he times it out. Let's see, how many seconds is it? It's maybe only like 3 seconds of build time. 1, 2, 3, about 4. It's about 4 seconds. I've seen people where they're a bit less tight in the build, it's about 5 seconds. But essentially, cutting any SCV production, I think it's actually better to go orbital on 17. Just simply because, yeah, you're not rushing your Reaper here, so your Reaper timing isn't important with this build. And if you go 12 depot, 14 racks, 14 gas, I think it just times out slightly more efficiently long term. Yeah. Essentially, having an extra SCV, even if it's just 1/3 of an SCV extra out, from about 6 minutes onwards, that's going to outpace the fact of having your first mule a few seconds earlier. Yeah. I remember we crunched the numbers on stream the other week. Had a little think about it while watching Hero Marine's breakdown of it. But obviously, at the very start, getting those 25 minerals faster does speed up factory. Speeds up command center. But often with these build orders, factories aren't building Hellions straight away. You are actually just building a 3rd command center and focusing on economy. So specifically with this sort of build order, where you're not prioritizing aggression, Reaper is delayed, Hellions are delayed, it is an economy build. That's the specific reasoning. So I think you want to go 13, 13, or you want to do it the other way around. Oh, he gets a Zergling but loses the Reaper. MARU goes way too deep for a 13, 14 Reaper. Should have known that Reaper is not going to be able to do that much damage normally, and that's a really just overcommitment and an unnecessary one for MARU. He's going to go straight into Hellions, so he is prioritizing the Hellion production over like Starport, second gas. Is he going to go double engineering bay? What is this? Oh, it's just mech again. Okay, no worries. Makes sense. I was going to say, after the last game, is he like, screw it, back to mech? It's another big map, and I think big maps agree with mech, and especially battle mech, really well. I think it's a good choice, because big maps, it's hard to get your bio pushes going. It's hard to stop the Zerg from droning and getting ahead, but mech is so mobile, but the battle mech openings especially, it just makes you love the style. The only thing missing from the battle mech really is vultures. If you had vultures from StarCraft 1, as you can see pictured here next to the lovely Nova, that this is a bunch of mech players. These are Terran Terran mech fans, by the way. Can you guys imagine if you could lay spider mines, drive around with vultures, along with like widow mines, hellions, cyclones, banshees? Damn. Add some science vessels in the mid game. Now that would be a good unit comp. Thing's gonna come in. You do not want to let him scout your mech. Good denial. I don't think those Zerglings see anything. Gotta be wondering, where's your starport though, buddy? Where's your starport? Why are you like hiding buildings? In of itself is a bit of a tell. And Reynor's rushing upgrades. Remember, an early carapace is pretty meaningless against mech. The only advantage of the early carapace is it does stop banshees from two-shotting drones, I believe. So actually having, yeah, so it can be nice in that regard. Or is it +2 that you need to stop them? Is it +1 or +2? One of those upgrades stops banshees getting the two-shot. Pick SE2 with science vessel, defilers and scouts is just StarCraft 3. Yeah, I mean, there's a mod. It's called StarCraft Evo. It's actually really fun seeing people get wrecked by a radiate in that mod, man. I love that Tasia came back to play a bunch of Evo games as well. Ooh, clutch wall off there. Kind of looked like there was a hole on the north side, but I don't think there was. Beautiful Evo champ. Dude, the amount of buildings. Oh no! The Hellions split up. There's not that many drones. Reynor takes massive damage here. He's got to hold the drone key down. He's trying to do it. He does cancel that Evo. It's only a semi-wall now. 24 Zerglings. He's got double upgrades, which is the least important investment against mech. And that's part of why mech is so good for MARU here, because Reynor is optimizing his play to deal with the more standard bio play, but he might have to be doing it the other way around. Then again, oh, the Hellions go too deep. That was an overcommit there. Queens and Zerglings clean it up. MARU cedes map control, and this gives Reynor the comfort he needs to drone, take a fourth base, and get to that next step. He's going to take the fourth down here. He's going to expand towards the Terran. Interesting. 3 more factories on the way. Double Armory is, of course, already upgrading. That is very fast upgrades. And the mech upgrades are going to be far more important than the Zerg upgrades. If you guys wondering why, the reason is the way attack upgrades work in StarCraft is often they give you a kind of rough percentage per attack, whereas armor is only going to stop a single damage point per armor, no matter what the unit is. So when you're dealing with big things like tanks that get +5 per upgrade on the attack, Widow Mines do crazy damage, Cyclones that do spell damage isn't affected by armor, Blue Flame Hellions do just an insane amount of damage to light units where 1 damage doesn't really matter. You're looking at a situation where attack upgrades for Zerg will still matter as the game goes on. They're not a high priority at the very beginning, and armor upgrades are going to be pretty meaningless. Chat has confirmed it is +2 carapace to stop the banshees from two-shotting, because I think they do 2 times 12 damage. So if you have 2 armor, it becomes 2 times 10, and then 2 shots does 40 damage, which turns out with the instant regen that happens, unless both banshees sync their shots perfectly, it will survive on a fraction of a hit point. All right, Magfield's on the way, 1-1 as well. Starport is building. So he's gonna transition is MARU. Once again, he finds himself in a mech game where it just feels like his position is incredibly competitive, right? Like it's not quite game 1 where he's just miles ahead, but like even with the Hellions throwing their lives away, there's no drones on a 4th base just yet, even though Reynor has enough to spread there. Oh, but this could be amazing. Can Reynor surround? Yes, he can. Beautiful engagement there for Reynor. Lings with the wraparound, Roaches on the behind. And that is going to shut this down. How did he spot the high ground there, guys, to shoot that Marine? Maybe it was the Ling running up the ramp, got vision. Queens with transfuses, going to keep these Roaches alive, wasting a bit of Maru's scan energy. Nicely done. Reynor's also not playing Mutas this time, and not as far behind as the last time either, so he's in a much better spot. 2-2 is on the way. Tanks are building. Good to see for MARU. Thought MARU might double down on the crazy battle mech style, but I like that he's going to mix in a bunch of tanks. Because a lot of Zergs will just try to A-move you with Roach Baneling. Deny your 4th, try to win the game there. Even just 3 or 4 tanks makes it so much harder to do that. He is mixing Cyclones as well. I don't think he goes full tanks. Full trad mech would be a bit of a choice. That would be a bit far out. Infestation Pit's coming in. It's going to finish up, so Reynor, of course, will go Hive for Adrenal. I don't know if he'll use Hive for anything other than Adrenal, maybe like a single Viper. Reynor is a big fan of just playing Ravager Ling Bane against mech, and he's got the micro to make it work, so it's not actually a bad call. For most players, I would advise copying Reynor's anti-mech style, only if you enjoy losing games. He makes it work because he is a king of micro. He's one of the best multitaskers in the world. Very good with his Ling micro, and he's actually going to go Infestors. Now, one of the big things he likes to do is Neural Parasite the mech units. Even Cyclones, which can be a massive, massive advantage. Hard to pull off if your opponent has tanks or lib sieged. And Maru is also known for adding ghosts to his super late game, at which point EMP and snipes can ruin the Infestors as well. But I love that he's going for a Raven, and already ghost transition, guys. Such an early ghost transition. Oh, that's going to be so good against the Infestors, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, Infestors can catch ghosts with Fungal as well, but that is amazing. He's doing the proper ghost mech style. He's beaten Serral with this multiple times in the past. It's a really hard start. I think when played perfectly, it's kind of meant to be unkillable. Spire's on the way right now for Reynor. He's got Neural Parasite as well. His army's a bit too roach heavy. I think it would be great if he could run in here and trade some units away. Of course, Chadhammer is on the high ground. She's having a slow work day today in this one. Fungal's not as impactful versus Ghost. Well, Fungal doesn't interrupt snipes, but it still catches them. And if there's no good snipe targets, that's fine, you know? Not going to be any good snipe targets till there's Ultras or Broods on the map. Tanks there trying to bait these units in. Just picking off a few of the tanks and pulling back. Good discipline by Reynor to not overcommit. 3-3 mechs on the way. Armor's on the way. Cloak for the ghosts. And it is Tech Lab Barracks now up as well. How many barracks? It's 3, right? Where is the third one in the back? No Tech Lab on that just yet, though. Roachbane's going to roll in. Takes out a few of these siege tanks. He's scanning and he's like, oh, Reynor's work account doesn't look that good. But of course, we know it's because Reynor's moved his workers to the forward, more dangerous base. And you can tell Maru wants to take this gold base, dominate this southern side of the map, maybe try and push here as well. And that's why I'd love to see Reynor pivot a large amount of his army to the top right. I feel like mobility is meant to be your advantage here against Trad Mech and especially Ghost Mech. And Reynor's kind of stuck in a front-on duel on this side. It's going to be inefficient for him long term. Oh, wow. Anti-armor missile and an arc of siege tank planetary. This is an insane angle for Reynor to attack into. Thankfully, he realizes it, but not before taking some heavy losses. He's down about 1,400 in the resources lost. Maru going to try and get a planetary up on that gold base. Ooh, got to be careful. Command center, he's trying to land it. A little cocky there for Maru, but sometimes it pays off. Greatest Spy is coming in. Ooh, what is there? Only 2 Ghosts and 6 Cyclones. Broodlords are going to be legendary against this. This is a great choice by Reynor, guys. Cyclone Hellbat comes in. A whole bunch of Roaches go down. Reynor's probably happy to lose those Roaches. I think he wants a bunch of Ravagers, but he doesn't want any Roaches left in this army. Not at this stage. Too slow. Too short range. Waste too much supply. Gets a few biles. I don't think enough to kill the tank, though. See, these anti-armor missiles, these Hellbats, these Cyclones, these tanks really starting to lean the pressure onto Reynor, and I think Reynor has to give this base up. He agrees. He does abandon the base for the drones. Same time, a single Roach trying to stop a planetary go up on the right side of the map. That is not going to work out. 6 Broodlords coming in. The scan goes down. 3 Thors are already building. He's going to drop a nuke. He's going to drop a nuke on him. Reynor, he's got a nuke on top of his Broodlords. He needs to get out of here. He needs to get out of here right now. Right now. Pull away, pull away, pull away. He does pull away. Nicely done. Overseer sees that ghost. It does get shot down. The Broodlords are going to look to deny this base, and I think he should be able to. 3-3 is going to kick in for the Terran player. Maru's going to shift his focus to the right side of this map. He's going to try and expand to both sides at once. Siege tanks trying to siege up on the front over there. The Infestor just standing there looking a little bit lost. Right side of the map. Command center goes down. Nice snipe there for Reynor. Going to Broodlords against Maru. Maybe a tragic mistake. Maru, king of late game, man. He's very good at this stage. But the Banelings on creep, a menace. They're looking for the ghosts on that right side. Are they able to get to them? Looks like the ghosts are able to get away from those Banelings. But the tanks, the Thors, Cyclone's getting overwhelmed. It was only a small section of Maru's army, and Maru's building a lot of Thors right now to deal with the Broodlords, but that means his tanks are over here on the wrong side of the map. Thors on their own can't beat the Ravager Zergling. He needs a lot of support, and wow, Reynor taking control of this game, man. Planetary is up on that right side. Biles coming forwards. They don't land on anything. Siege Tank and Broodlord getting taken down. Taking down the Planetary and Siege Tanks on the bottom left side. This is a really hard spot for Maru now. He's out of bank. Reynor's got money. Reynor's army is still very basic aside from the Broodlords. He doesn't really have any Corruptors to guard them either. I mean, these ghosts could just walk up and snipe them. He's cloaked right now. And oh man, Reynor snipes another command center. Dude, Maru very slow today. He's not lifting off these command centers. He was so focused on this left side. The Thors come in, anti-armor missile, and of course the Ghost of the Snipe. The anti-armor missile really does seem like window dressing right now, guys. I don't think it really does anything impactful. Thors already do a crazy amount of damage. +2 to those attacks doesn't matter. Doesn't affect Ghost Snipes either. And man, Maru's struggling to get this right side up. This point where he's trying to cover both sides at once. I kind of wish he stayed on the right side, just defended this base, and then just kept pushing the south. Because I think Maru should be able to beat the Broodlords with Thor Ghost Hellbat, right? Add a few libs in to deal with the Infestors. But now he's lost so many units. He's trying to deal with these Broods. The Thors are taking tons of Siege Tank friendly fire. Ling Ravager coming in the right side as well. Chadhammer finally gets to do something from the high ground. The SCVs are getting routed. The Broodlords, a very nice pullback on this side as well. Maru's going to try to counter push. I don't know if that's the right call. I feel like Banelings can be made very quickly to reinforce. All the Queens have been pulled to the front. They can spam transfuse on these Broods. A bunch of Ravagers and Banelings will go down on the retreat there. Looks like they also biled the Siege Tank on the high ground, Chadhammer. Infestors there. Could kind of neural this. There's not a lot covering this. It's interesting. Ooh. Fungal neural combo. Nice ambush. There's only one Hellbat. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is devastating. Oh, that is so painful for Maru. Guys, the units lost have 3,000 in Reynor's favor. Reynor is outfighting Maru. Admittedly, it's a hard map for Terran late game and for mech. The bases are very spread, but I think he took this base. The correct call was to keep pushing and try to deny these two bases, surely, rather than expanding to the top at the same time. The moment he tried to expand to both sides at once, because he felt like he didn't have the answer to the Broodlords, and he pivoted to the top side, but he still lost a bunch of tanks and a planetary on the bottom. And that was a moment where he lost control of this game. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he automatically wins either way, but historically, he beats Reynor in front-on fights in late game, right? And that's why the moment that this became a scrappy, let's fight in 2 places at once, 3 places at once, he failed to lift off multiple command centers in the multitasking battle. Reynor's diving in, picking off Thors, hitting and running. Like, this is the sort of game that Reynor loves. It's a slow turtle, one-directional combat that Reynor hates playing. That's where Maru normally beats him, but Reynor has done a great job of making this scrappy. He's finding his way through. The Lings are on the right side. Maru's got his Thors and Hellbats gathering together. The Vikings trying to chase after that army as well. It is a huge map. It's yeah, trying to cover both sides at once. Maybe just not something you can do on this map. And Maru still has a big army. I think this is one of those games where Maru might just do one big push and somehow still win. But no, without libs, I just don't think he's only got 2 libs. I think if he had like 6 libs with range, with the Thor Hellbat Ghost, that's such a good army. But oh, the Neurals are going to kill him. He's just neuraling everything. Reynor comes in, neurals a whole bunch of the units. The Ling's going for the wraparound there. So many of these units going down. Just neuraling the entire army. Broodlord's broadsiding the Thor as well. That's going to be devastating. I was like, is this one of those games where Maru gets to like 30 workers and then just pushes with 170 supply? But no. Doesn't have a Raven anymore. Infestors walk underground. He just gets absolutely wrecked. Back in the high ground goes down. Thor's Hellbat's taking big damage. Ghosts as well. Roach Ravager Baneling doing what it can. Queens and Broodlords pulling away. Whew. Damn, I thought this game was going pretty well for Maru, man. The way he was pushing that south side and took that gold base so decisively. Such a good push. The Broodlords came out so much quicker than I think Maru expected. Like, Reynor hates Broodlords. Reynor and Solar are normally the guys who refuse to make Broodlords till like 26 minutes and three maxed armies have failed. And they're like, okay, I'll make Broods. This was actually just the perfect Broodlord timing. Hats off to Reynor for really reading this game very well and adapting really nicely. How many orbitals do we have now? Not enough to recover, guys. He's got 7. I mean, he's still got a decent income. I have seen MARU bring it back from here. If there's anyone else, I'd say he's dead, but this is MARU we're talking about. Here we go, big army. That's a bad angle for REYNOR. He does throw a nice microbial shroud, but I don't like this angle. The infestors come in. Loses all the infestors, the lings, the banes. The broods and the ravages do pull back, surviving, but kind of attacking around a corner into that angle was not pretty. Ooh, dude, really nice chase with the Vikings. Actually getting a bunch of extra broodlords here as a discount bargain bin broodlords. Very rare, you know, sometimes you go to the store and just in that bin at the front of the store, you're like, oh, what? 3 broodlords? $2? Yeah, 2 Viking dollars? I'll take it. Getting +3 armor for the ghosts as well. They don't have any attack upgrades, so the ghosts' actual attack is not very impressive. 3 command centers building right now. But good pivot here for REYNOR. He knows that MARU can't cover both sides. Movement is his friend. As long as he keeps moving around the map, getting in, getting out, I think this is going to be very hard for MARU to deal with. He runs away with the Ravages. The Lingbane clear the workers on that base as well. Oh, the Ravager's staying a little bit too long, but oh, he wanted to bait him. He made it look like he was retreating. Then he runs forward. The snipes are going to butcher his Ravagers, but the Banelings do get on top of those ghosts. Still a good fight for MARU, though. That was an excellent fight for MARU. The way he sniped all the Ravagers and then faded the ghosts away just before the Banelings got to detonate on them was massive. Zergling's running in. Siege tank trying to pull back right now. Oh me, oh my. Oh, another tank does go down. Chat saying REYNOR should have finished this a minute ago. I agree, guys. I think he's forgotten to find the make your opponent GG button. Quick question. What would that be in this game? It's hard to find. I think maybe if he does a 50-50 army split, half attacks down here, tries to get into the natural while denying these bases, and then if MARU maybe leaves like this top base a bit too undefended, like right now he could dart in and kill a bunch of SCVs there at the same time. It'd be kind of nice if he gets really like, and maybe Nidus is the back at the same time. He should just go blink DTs and carriers. I agree, chat. REYNOR is pretty low IQ though. He doesn't know about that move. Idiot clicked Zerg in the choose race screen. So silly. Especially on this patch, right? Am I right? Zergling's coming in right now. Poking around. He's going to poke the front army. Good bust. There's only 2 tanks like directly covering it. Kill the planetary, run away. Banelings are going deep. Banelings rolling into tanks and Thors. Massive blinding clouds. Big biles, dude. Oh, REYNOR is so good with his Ravages. Is he chasing a little too far, perhaps? The Lings on the right side are doing some good damage. One of them gets on top of the tank. Thor will, of course, save it there. That Zergling gets popped. Few Zerglings try to run in the left as well. These trades are good for REYNOR, man. He's only down 3,000 resources lost. He's mining the gold, which is great. He's thinking about transferring to this base. If he can start mining out these forward bases, this one and this one, it's damage done. Every mineral you take is a mineral MARU will never get to mine. And when you've got MARU on his heels like this, that's how you can kind of force him out of the game very methodically. Massling on both sides, devastating damage, only a siege tank on the top side. Hellbats try to defend here, but the Ravagers are more than enough for them. The Lings are still doing crazy damage. The Ravagers will clear the Hellbats. The Lings go back in to jump on top of the Thors, and that's going to be game over. MARU will have to tap out here. It looks like REYNOR is going to be taking a 2-1 lead. Cool to see MARU play Ghost Mech. It's a very technical style. It's very fragile. And I think if this was Rainfall, or Lockdown, or one of those maps with a few more choke points on it, we'd see MARU look nearly unstoppable. But on this giant map, a little bit harder to get into that position. And it's, you know, a good Zerg like REYNOR, who's so good with his multitasking and his positioning, just starts darting in from every angle, and dealing with that mobility disadvantage is so hard for the Terran player. Even MARU here struggled. I think patience is the answer personally in terms of expand at a slower rate. Feels kind of like the opposite of what you're meant to do in StarCraft. But I think against a guy like REYNOR, who's going to play Ling Ravager pretty much all game long, adding a support unit here or there as needed, super necessary. I would love to see him double down with his focus on the south side and try to fight those Broodlords head on. I don't think REYNOR wins a frontal fight against the entire army with the Broodlords, but because MARU split his army up, the Broodlords were kind of just picking off a few units here and there without ever having to deal with a concerted effort. Lovely blinding clouds. Big attack comes in again. Not many Banelings for the Hellbats. The Hellbats do very well clearing the Zerglings. Doors, Ghosts are going to deal with a lot of the Roach Ravager as well. MARU makes heroic holds, even in the worst situations, but he's got no money behind it. He's down to 10 workers. He's going to have to tap out. REYNOR up 2-1. All right, guys. MARU in the bottom right side of the map. REYNOR in the bottom left. It's Rorschach. Much more powerful map for the Terran. You can have this lovely southern push path. You've got a healing shrine here. Does he play mech again, or does he go back to bio on a map where he has a nice push path? I have no idea. I do wonder if REYNOR just does the standard, expands north towards the 4th, and maybe even takes a 5th on the gold base up here in the center top. That's the standard way to play for Zerg here. I think REYNOR can still do well on this map, but definitely, unlike that last map, so big, so wide, so open, a map where MARU might go for the bio. I think his build on Blackburn was perfect against the way REYNOR played. I think it was a fantastic build order. Unfortunately for him, REYNOR's Carapace Ling timing ruined him, right? His Hellions were all on the other side of the map. The Lings ran in, got all of his Marines, a bunch of SCVs. If that was able to come to actuation, where he's like, hey, you have a fast Carapace? You know what doesn't care about that? Hellbats. Would have been really hard for REYNOR to defend. Now, don't get me wrong, Queens still benefit from the armor significantly against like a Hellbat Marine timing, but I think it would have been a really good way to play. That being said, this is a gas pool again, similar to that Blackburn game. REYNOR going to go for that 17 hatchery. Barracks gas opening. It is once again that 13 barracks, 14 gas into 16 orbital. Does start the Reaper there. That command center is going to go down on the natural. Slightly inefficient build, this one, like I said. I do think, give it a while, you'll see Terrans swap to 12 barracks, 14 gas, 14 racks with the 17 orbital off of this one. That'd be my prediction. Happy to be wrong. I think we're splitting hairs either way. It's cool to see that Zerg just all go 11 Overlord now. No one's really bothering to do the Extractor trick. I still do it. Apparently, it's almost identical. 11 Overlord to Extractor trick. So if you go 12 Overlord, then Extractor trick, it's very similar. All right, Reaper's moving forward. REYNOR went for a 17 hatchery. He's making a very quick Ling speed. He's still got 3 workers mining gas. Obviously, because he doesn't have his natural up, that's normal. Doesn't mean he's going to rush an upgrade. He very well could. 11 Overlord's a bit easier, of course, than the Extractor trick as well, which is why it's the recommended build order. He's once again rushing the upgrades so fast. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, Pommy out. Is it Pommy? Who is it?
Game resumed.
Sorry, guys. We had to get Indy out of there as he was having a bit of lag. Hopefully he can rejoin in the next game. His internet settles. And he can obviously cast off the main stream while he waits. Carapace is there. Ling speed as well. Factories floating over. We do have a second factory on the way. Straight to mech. I love to see it. I think it's a good choice. Just because it's a good map for bio pushing. I mean, it means it's a really good map for mech pushing as well. So why not? You've got, you know, 3rd base here, 4th base, 5th base, 6th base, all in a tight pattern. It's really easy to centralize your defenses and your offense on one path. And that's what you want. You don't want to be spread across 2 separate fronts. Ling speed's done. Reaper's going to do a bit of a dance here. Checks the drone count. Sees what looks like a pretty normal build order. Of course, we know that that Carapace is already halfway done. And to be fair, the fact that that wasn't fully saturated might indicate that. But does MARU pick up the read? Does he realize this is the same build as Blackburn? And likewise, does REYNOR do the same Ling Flood? Because if he does the exact same Ling Flood again, that would be kind of bonkers. Building 30 Lings, if you don't find damage and the Hellions are more defensive, like, could be a real problem. REYNOR is building more Zerglings right now. Blue Flame coming in. Overlord's on the pillar. For those who don't know, I think you can put a Hellion there and maybe spot the edge of the Overlord and kill it with Marines. I could be wrong. Maybe it's far enough away. Units have different sight range, so a worker definitely can't see it. Actually, it does look a bit too far away, doesn't it? Yeah, you might just need to wait till you get an air unit. Double armory. Maru loves those upgrades, man. And Maru is so greedy with these builds. Like a Ravager Ling just kills him. He dies to a lot of things here. But luckily he sees what's coming. He's going to move the rest of his Hellions forward. Blue Flame's not ready yet. So it kind of shows his hand a little bit earlier than maybe it should. Now he has to wall off before he leaves his base. If he does not wall off, that would be crazy. And Reynor goes a bit too deep there. A few Zerglings get fried. Wall off's up. Hellions move out. Good move here for Maru. Third command center is up. He's up 5 workers in this game. Reynor's in trouble, man. He's got melee coming in. He's got 6 queens. He's building a lot of drones. It's a lot of Blue Flame. No Roachhorn. No Baneling Nest. He doesn't seem to realize that this is mech. I mean, I think Lair is the correct call, but it really, to me, feels like he just thinks it's a Hellion Banshee build or something like that. Reynor gonna come in with a beautiful wraparound, though. The Hellions come a little bit too deep, and he will surround 3 of the Hellions. Then a very disciplined pull away. Doesn't chase off creep. Did Reynor pull off gas? No. Remember, he made Lair melee. He did pull off gas, I'm sure, at some point earlier in the game. Mostly. But the early carapace 100. That's 100. The Lair is 100. It does all stack up. Command Center is floated out to the 3rd. We've got 2 more factories building, so it's going to be 4 or 5 factories. Oh me, oh my. Double armory upgrades coming in Magfield as well. Hellions aren't moving forwards. Queen's going to move to intercept. Ooh-wee. Hellions rotating around. Okay, he's picking off quite a few creep trimmers. The Lings moving around there as well. Hellions trying to come forwards. Can he find more damage? Where is the Roachhorn for Reynor? Is he going to play Mutiling Bane again? Oh, he goes for a Ling wraparound! No way! Reynor with an illegal move! An illegal move! I cannot believe it! Oh my lord! Hellions are the natural predator of Zerglings. He's massing Hellions on 3 factories. In Maru's mind, there is 0 threat in this game. Reynor says, hold my beer, and welcome to Zergling Town, mother trucker. Oh my god, that is an illegal... It just runs in the natural while he's transferring workers. He's not looking. He surrounds the Hellions and does devastating game-ending damage. I was like, why is Reynor not building a Roachhorn? Does he not know what's going on? Is he crazy? He's like, no, brother. I'll believe in the power of the Zergling. He's like, 14 years ago when I was a young lad, I witnessed life change history by royal roading to the grand finals of the 2012 GSL and beating MVP's Blue Flame Hellions with Zergling surrounds. It is not meant to be possible. And yet, he did it. Old school style, Voldemort style, as some would say. Obviously, for those who don't know, life, he who must not be named, got caught match fixing years later, throwing matches for money. And hence, many people think if you say his name, it will bring dark energy upon your family. I'm still waiting for the biopic to be made about that story, with Ralph Fiennes starring his life. Ling's waiting for another run by. Roach's arm massing up. He's got that 5th on the gold. 67 drones, not a crazy worker count, but I think Reynor reset Maru's position enough that this is still really good for him. And the question is, how does he leverage it from here? How does he like push the advantage? Because I thought being Reynor, he would have already gone to 75, 85 workers and then swarmed, like as Maru takes his 4th. But Reynor's kind of just massing army now, which tells me he kind of wants to just go for a huge Ravager Zergling Roach all-in. I don't see how Maru can possibly have the numbers to defend that. He's going to try and siege his tanks in a nice spready. He's going to have a lot of Hellions, a lot of Cyclones. He scans. He sees a ton of army coming. Maru with the double scan. He realizes that Reynor is going for him. He knows that he's got to get out front, kite with the Hellion Cyclone, and then try to have the tanks protected, but he just doesn't have enough tanks. He's putting the tanks pretty far forward. I don't think he realizes how much Zerg army is about to swing in. It's an almost pure Zergling all-in. It's 100 Zerglings, 21 Roaches. Oh my. It's a massive army. He needs the Hellions on those Zerglings. Hellbats are going to try and morph. The tanks are getting overrun though. And what a fast, brutal army. Yes, the Lings clump and die to the Hellbats. Reynor does take out a lot of Terran. There's a few Banshees, a few more tanks. Maybe he could hold on. But right now there's only 1 tank. 3rd and 4th base both getting ransacked. And that is game-ending damage. Look at that. He's going to get through. The depot's down. The SCV's being forced to fight. Just like sending your children onto the front lines. That is a no-go. The tank is going to get on top of. The Ravagers will take it down, and REYNOR, we have to rewind and catch that illegal maneuver, guys. Sorry for not catching it. I wasn't expecting it at all. Crazy move. Catching and transferring all of those Hellions. So here it is, guys. He runs in. MARU's just not watching, because at the same time, he was kiting here against these Zerglings. Oh, man. By the time he reacts, he's fully surrounded. And then he's only got 2 Hellions, and the 2 Hellions even rally into surround as well. Oh, my lord. Whereas if he could at least pull all those SCVs to the ramp and have 3 or 4 more Hellions there on the ramp, he can, like, not lose as much. But this was game-ending damage, a crazy move, a wild commitment for REYNOR. REYNOR's going to get first place in the group. We need to go talk to REYNOR and find out about his thoughts. Did he know it was mech? Is he just a crazy person who was banking on getting this around? What a legend. GG, well played, congrats. We've got you in HD after a few seconds of buffering. Well played, man. How do you feel about the win? You feel pumped?
Yeah, it feels good. MARU is scary, and I don't know, my last TVZ was against Cure and I kind of got bopped, so I was a bit scared, but I think I really played complete shit in that series, and I think I actually played pretty well today, just in general, so pretty happy about that.
Hell yeah, man. You looked pretty on point. I really like the games. The last Ling dive, did you realize he was going mech at that point? And you, because I was surprised you hadn't dropped a Roach Warren yet. Obviously, the Ling surround was huge. Like, where was your mind? Yeah.
I saw when he was banking all those Hellions before he even had the Blue Flame. I was pretty sure it was going to be mech. I felt I was dead, and I had to summon young REYNOR and make a million links and hope for the best. And it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out beautifully, dude. I was just like, when you're massing Blue Flame Hellions, the last thing you ever worried about is Zerglings, right? Like, I think in MARU's mind, he's like, yeah, let's see how many drones we can pick off is the only question. Like, let's see how many Lings, how much creep, how many drones we can pick off. And you could just see kind of the shock and the panic. Like, even after the 4 Hellions died, his SCVs just started fighting, like, rather than running away for a few seconds before he mineral walked them. 2 more Hellions rallied in. Obviously, he caught him off guard.
Yeah.
Well, it was also kind of funny because you did the same, it was like the exact same opening on Blackburn, right? And that one, he did a good job of like hold positioning on the ramp, but you still got a really good trade-off.
Was 5 years ago, Pig.
What am I calling it? Blackrock.
Blackrock, yeah. That was a while ago, man. That was right?
Oh, Blackburn was like the kind of like the bottom right, bottom left spawn one, right?
Yeah, where you had the gold base at the fort, and everyone would go void race and would, that was a good map, but terrible meta.
That was the you were staying with Roddy, and he convinced you to use overseers to contaminate robos back on that map pool. I remember. Yeah. You were blocking everyone's Tempests and Disruptors coming out. That was a fun map pool, man.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Well, your games today were pretty dominant. Talk me through the second game against Trigger. Let's go back a little bit to that series just for a moment. Game 1, you got in the Lings. His Adepts moved out of the wall. You ran circles around him. You kind of just ran away with that game and just hit him with a good, solid, big Hydra Ling timing. But Game 2, he came out with the heavier Blink aggression. His opening was, I guess, a bit more solid. Were you worried when he came over and denied your 4th base? Because you guys were like pretty even at that point, like stuck. You're both on 64 workers. Neither of you really has any higher tech or splash damage. What was your assessment of the game after losing your 4th base?
Both games were pretty weird, to be honest. Like game 1, obviously I was ahead from the Lings, but also his Storm was just way too late in both games. And second game, I didn't feel like I was gonna die, but I did feel like, okay, I'm behind now. But I think he overmade Stalkers. Like, it was weird, because he was not super committed on Stalkers, but at the same time, he wasn't really attacking up. So it was like a weird in-between, which I think he kind of fucked himself over there. Because I think if he commits, there's a chance he kills me, like super heavy 8 gate. I don't know how many gates he had, but like no gases at the 3rd and like super commits. I think there's a chance he kills me, even though probably not, to be honest. But
yeah, his probe count was like a bit higher. He did go 7 gates, but it was quite delayed. And like it was because the initial pressure was 4 gates just producing Stalkers running across the map to cancel your base. But then he went to 7, and he was floating about 1,000 minerals at some point in the middle there. And he took a 5th gas that he probably could have done the push off 3 or 4 gases, right? So it also, even if he didn't blink forward, if he just kind of went Templar Archives and 4th and just kind of ran around and skirmished with you, it felt like it still could have been anyone's game, from my eyes at least. Did you feel the same? Or was he already too committed to Stalkers at that point? He kind of had to force the fight?
Well, I have no idea. I felt like he just randomly died, you know? I was testing the waters with my move out. Obviously, like, the blink forward was pretty bad. But I don't know, I was just testing the waters and he just kind of died because he had nothing, you know? So it was a very weird game from my side. Like, I felt like I didn't do anything special, you know? My early game was somewhat okay. I lost a bunch of workers to the adepts, so it's not even that clean, to be honest. Yeah, felt like he just kind of fell over and died there. I think maybe his game plan wasn't too crisp for the series.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused myself as well.
It was kind of cool because I liked the opening for him and I was wondering where the game was going to go. But yeah, it did end a bit suddenly. Kind of a bummer there. But well played for you, man. Like, good play. Your queens actually were with your army and they tanked a lot of stalker shots when he blinked forward as well, which is part of why you crushed it so hard, because hydras are so fragile. Queens obviously way tankier, way less damage. And then yeah, you went over to Maru. Game 1, you played very conservative. Standard opening, Fear and Faith, Hatch Gas Pool, 4 Zerglings, Ling Speed. Maru did CC first into Barracks, into 3rd Command Center before gas. The Ultra Greed build, which is gaining a bit of popularity. You were pretty far behind in that game. Was this something that crossed your mind at all? Did you kind of kick yourself after that game, kind of rewind the replay and go, oh, I should have played greedier or more, or like done an all-in? Do you think you picked the right build order? There's no way to know. Like, what's your thought process after a game like that where you're kind of behind from the opening so far?
Just unlucky from the build order choice, to be honest. Like, I should have gone Mutas, but off of 3 hatches, not super fast Mutas. Because I was thinking before the series, it's pretty hard to study these guys nowadays. Or like, it's pretty hard to study everyone because not a lot of people play much. So I was thinking, based off our history, there's a good chance Maru plays mech, and also the CC buff. So yeah, I should have just waited to go Mutas. Like, I was just thinking, this Muta map, I go Mutas. But yeah, if I wanted to go Mutas, I should have done it off of 3 bases. And then game felt pretty unplayable after. So I just tried a bunch of random shit. Obviously, it didn't stick. So not too upset after that. You know, it's a bit annoying, but nothing too crazy.
Do you like that every time you end up playing Mutas versus mech, I bring up the Marine Lord show match from 7 years ago?
Man, that was quite a banger.
Turns out if they know you're not going to do anything but Mutiling Bane, it's pretty tough, right? But it's actually if I mean, you were very behind in that game 1, so it was never really even. But last PiGFest, Shin versus Maru on Celestial Enclave, which is a really good mech map, and Shin like was mauling him with like Mutiling Bane. Like, he did really good. Kind of did the classic Shin thing where Maru comes back from way behind because he's Maru, and Shin just can't quite close the game out, isn't sure like what to do in late game. I remember Crank was really upset after that. He was like, no, like, this was the time, Shin, you were meant to beat Maru here, like, what the hell? But I think he showed, like, Mutas are good if you've got a good economy, and the mobility of the Ling Bane, I guess it works quite well against Battle Mech because they can't really pressure you, right, without getting surrounded, and you can get good creep spread.
To be honest, I don't think it's very good. I think it has to do everything with Terran messing up when you play Mutiling Bane, because if they're just solid and they make a bunch of turrets, they play a couple of Thors, mines, it's freaking hard, man, to be honest. But maybe you can catch them by surprise. You can, yeah, they have to mess up, you know. But that's kind of how mech is in general. Even more so when you play Mutiling Bane. Guy just has to be out of position. You can't really win straight up fights. Just have to find good angles. It's playable for sure. It's not my favorite. But I was mostly just trying to go for Mass Muta rather than Mutiling Bane because I don't know, I wanted to surprise him. Map is good for Mutas. Maybe I was gonna pick him apart or something, but obviously it didn't work out. Especially BCs are insane versus Mutas, so unlucky there as well.
Yeah. Well, I think it was overall pretty damn good play. I mean, I liked... Obviously, you got a lead on Blackburn, as I'm calling it now, Blackrock. You did get a lead there. Was there a moment where you were worried? His defenses were pretty good, because I feel like the late game on BlackRock, there's like 3 bases right next to each other in the corner that can be quite hard to break once they get it established. And there's a lot of like ledges and choke points and hedges everywhere. I was kind of sad he wasn't dropping tanks on the ledges in the middle of the map. Obviously, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But is there a fear in your mind where you kind of like, I really cannot waste time on this map? Or you think, no, it's actually fine for Zerg in late game?
Yeah, I was kind of chilling. I remember I had like 100 drones bases on each side of the map. I think if he got a 5th base up, it would have been scary, to be honest. But yeah, their game plan overall was just, if he doesn't get a 5th, I win. If he does, possibly I lose. Because Terran is just so insane right now if they get their setup. So, and MARU as well is the best, at it. That was the whole thing. Just deny the 5th, deny the 5th.
Deny the 5th, indeed. Yeah, you did really well with it, man. I think especially what surprised me is you are a Broodlord hater, and your Broodlords, I think, kind of completely surprised MARU on Eternity's Edge. I think in that game, he was doing that like really solid push down the south. He was going into ghosts quite early as well, which normally he doesn't do. It was like quite scary. I was like, man, he's going ghosts already. This army's such a nightmare to deal with. But you actually went for a pretty quick round of Broodlords. Was there something you scouted that made you pick that? Or you just kind of, was there a weakness you spotted?
No, not really. I just felt like I couldn't really break him with anything else. And I wanted to start messing up his deck a little bit. Like I wanted him to switch to Thors, and then I switch over to the Ravager Linbane again. I already had Infestors as well. Because I thought originally it was going to be more Cyclones. But he made a bunch of tanks, so I had those Infestors, and I felt like, okay, I have to make Broodlords now. But I never wanted to mass Broodlords to begin with. I just wanted to make him build some Thors. I have Infestors already. I can lure all them. So yeah, I mean, I did catch him off guard, but also I played against MARU so much, and I know every single time you make Broodlords, he always goes, or most Terrans do, they go to the other side of the map. On the opposite side of Broodlords. So my game plan there was break his base on the left and have enough on creep to be able to defend, and it worked out. Then after that it was just really hard to break him, but eventually we got there.
Yeah, a couple Thors look so good when they have the Ghosts, the Hellbats, the Libs, and they're like fighting front on against like a few Broods and stuff. It feels like very hard for Zerg to take a good fight. But the moment he pivoted to the right, and then you're like picking off command centers, SCVs, you're constantly catching Thors with Lynx arounds and Neurals. I felt like the game just fell apart for him so quickly, and it got back into your realm. And there's like that dichotomy when you guys play, right? It's movement, it's chaotic, like nothing's locked down into one static location. You feel like you're so in charge every time I see you in that spot. And then whenever MARU's got it like locked down into this slow, methodical, like one base at a time, frontal push, slowly branching forwards, it feels like it's really hard for you to find any way forward. So I thought that was just a really clever way to kind of trick him almost into like splitting his army and attention up. But it's only six Broodlords, right? It's not like you're going 20 Broodlords, 8 Infestors, 4 Vipers, Spore Crawlers, Queens. Like most of your army was still very mobile, so that was actually really nice. I think he must have lost like 20 Thors at terrible inefficiency after that. It was so well played.
It's insane how hard it is, because I felt like I got a couple of perfect like Neurals, and he lost a lot, and I killed his bases, and this guy still doesn't go down, especially with the CC change now. It feels like you break 2 CCs and there's 3 next to it, so it's pretty damn hard. But eventually, as I said, we got there. It was pretty close, to be honest, because I was running out of gas mostly. I should have added a couple more gases.
Yeah, I mean, it was I was kind of like, this is why MARU's lost, because of this. REYNOR did this really well, and I was kind of like, doing the commentary, wrapping up, like, because the game's about to end, and then I was like, wait, MARU's back to like even supply. Like, what the hell, man? I'm like, how are you this good? He's very good at bouncing back. But yeah, you got him out of there in the end. I think overall the build choices were good, the Lings were nice. Yeah, I think also like there was a few good build choices for him. Game 1, he beats you with Super Greed. If he got around to it, he was aiming for a big Hellbat Stim Marine timing, which I think is, in my mind, that's really good against a Carapace rush like you were doing. If, because like Zerglings just kind of die to Hellbats. Do you actually think it's not too bad of a matchup because the Queens are a bit tankier against the Marines? Like, or is that actually just a bad build order for you? Obviously, you did damage earlier, but yeah.
To be honest, that was the first time I was doing that build. I've never done it before, so I don't know
Oh,
the
cool.
interaction too well. But it felt good in my head, you know, like go very fast, +1 carry pace, delay the third, and make links while the third is getting up, so I don't really lose much economy, and then just pressure. The idea was just breaking Maru's game plan a little bit with whatever, you know. It not being too committed helped as well. But yeah, maybe I would have died. I do make a crap ton of links, like 40 links though, so I'm not so sure. I think 5-6 queens, 40 links I can hold. I'm probably behind though. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
have
you
to
can probably surround from
practice
like
against it.
multiple sides and spread against the Hellbats, right?
Yeah, I'm +1 carry base, so I think you hold. Probably behind though.
Nice. Awesome, man. Well, these were great games. How do you feel going into the playoffs? Your reward is you get to play your good friend, your teammate, Yana. Yeah, are you excited for some ZVZ action? I've actually felt like there's been some really banger, fun, crazy ZVZs lately. There's been very gambly, very sloppy. What's your feeling in ZVZ? Thumbs down, thumbs up, good chance, fun match. What can we expect from you, Raynor?
I don't know, man. ZVZ right now is Clown Fiesta. That's probably good for me, to be honest, against Serral. Just not a big fan of Clown Fiestas in general right now, but maybe I have to summon Young Raynor again. You know, I did one stay serious, and maybe I'll have to summon him for the ZVZ as well. Just invent some crap on the spot.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe get like a little shrine to like Daddy Dark. Maybe get a beer on the desk, you know, have some alcohol, get loose in there, you know. I'm curious. I mean, Rogue's been playing some crazy builds and having some back and forths with Serral as well. So I'm keen to see what you guys bring up. I think it'll be a good match. I always love watching you and Serral go back and forth. Should be a fun one. And of course, it's upper bracket, so you lose that, you still go straight to the lower bracket quarterfinals. If you lose that match, if you win it, you go straight to the semifinals. And I say it's not really upper loser. You guys, you know, it's the unique format that we have. But that should be really fun. Obviously, there's also Zound Solar, Hero Marine Hero, and Shin will be playing the person who gets second, who we're about to find out in this group. So thanks for the interview, mate, and good luck. We'll catch you next week in the playoffs.
Thank you, bro. See you. Bye-bye.
Good night, man. See ya. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that PiGFest match. If you've been enjoying the tournament and you want to help support us running such a big event that is a gigantic undertaking, please do consider checking out the Patreon. There's a whole bunch of unique perks and merch that you can get over there as exclusive rewards. A special thanks to everyone here who's already supporting. A special thanks to the conductors of the D-Town Express, Pete N, Dragothar, and Oko H. If you guys want to check it out, there's a link somewhere around where my hand is, as well as down below in the description. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next PiGFest cast. Goodbye and good night.